Tales from the depths of the dark web. The internet is a vast, sprawling ocean of information, and yet most of us only ever skim its surface. But there's another layer hidden beneath, the dark web. A place where rules don't apply and anonymity reigns. It's a realm that promises secrets, but those secrets come with a cost. In this video, we're bringing you 3 stories of people, just like you, who stepped too far into that shadowy world. What they found didn't just terrify them, it changed their lives forever. If you think you're safe behind your screen, these stories may make you think again. Let's begin. It began like most nights. Another long evening scrolling online forums, looking for something interesting. I was bored, a little restless, and figured exploring the dark web, for the first time in ages, would kill some time. I had always heard people brag about what you could find there. Drug markets, hidden forums, even strange, haunted curiosities. But nothing prepared me for the auction. At first, it looked like a shabby site. Ugly design, grainy images, constantly buffering. Just another marketplace for things no decent person would want or need. But the items I saw listed there, they weren't just unsettling, they were horrifying. Bags of teeth, blood-stained jewelry, old journals filled with someone's life story, sold for absurdly high bids. I told myself I'd only watch, never participate. But as I scrolled through the pages, curiosity pulled me deeper. The stranger the items became, the more I couldn't look away. Then I found it. The last item. Unlike the other listings, there was no image. Just a name and a line of text in red. Live lot auction now open. The name was mine, my full name down to the middle initial. For a second, I convinced myself it was a coincidence. But then came another detail, a chilling piece of information that only I could know. My birthday, freshly listed in the description. I froze as bids ticked upward beside my name. $1,000, $2,000, $10,000. My breath caught in my throat, my stomach twisting into knots. Somehow, someone was selling me. I slammed my laptop shut, but the panic didn't stop. I started pacing, locking every door in my tiny apartment, checking and double-checking my phone for any trace of the site. My hands shook so badly, I fumbled the latch on the front door. All I could feel was their eyes, watching, bidding, waiting. And then, there was a knock. Not faint, not hesitant. It was deliberate, demanding. I didn't open it. I couldn't. And after what felt like forever, it stopped. But since that night, I've never felt alone. Not really. Every flicker of light, every shadow in the corner of my vision reminds me of one thing. Someone somewhere put a bid on my life, and maybe they still own it. Software developer. I'm a software developer, freelance, which means sometimes I hit strange clients. But this wasn't strange. It was sinister. It started as a simple email. The job offer was anonymous. The pay was impossible to ignore. All they wanted me to build was an encryption app, something to help users send secured messages that couldn't be tracked. Perfectly legal, I thought. Nothing shady. At least, not until the files arrived. I was coding in silence when I noticed them, hidden folders tucked into the client's encrypted instructions. My curiosity got the better of me and I opened one, then another. That's when the terror hit me. Photos. Clear, high-resolution images. Not just any photos, there were surveillance shots. Targets. Kids, teenagers, women walking home alone. Beside each photo was a dossier with personal details, names, addresses, routines, and worst of all, timestamps. These weren't just photos, these were blueprints for abduction. Though my gut told me to shut it all down, I couldn't. I kept digging, uncovering video feeds, live trackers, and entire chains of communications coordinating human trafficking. Each click made my chest pound harder. But in my panic, I made my mistake. I had unintentionally flagged myself. The first sign was an anonymous email with no sender. Be careful what you dig up. I didn't respond, but it didn't stop there. Calls came next. Silent, except for the sound of someone breathing on the other end. Then, when I thought it couldn't get worse, I saw them. Two men, parked outside my apartment, sitting in an unmarked car. One checked his phone, looked at my window, then nodded. That's when I ran. I packed whatever I could in 5 minutes flat and got out. Booked the first hotel room I could find several towns over. But even there, I kept hearing things. Footsteps, scratches on the door. I don't know who they are or what they wanted from me. Maybe they just wanted to scare me into silence. Well, it worked. All I know is that I'll never take another anonymous client again. At college, it was my first week of living alone in college. I wasn't close to anyone on campus yet, and honestly, I was lonely. So, when I stumbled into a chat room on the dark web, I was more excited than I should have been. Someone wanted to talk. They didn't give a name, just their screen handle, VoidWatcher92. Their messages were surprisingly warm, even funny. We talked for hours, swapping stories, sharing little things about ourselves. The more we talked, the more I warmed up to them. But then the conversation took a turn. "You seem really stressed tonight," they wrote. "Is it because of that bad grade on your midterm?" The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I never mentioned my grades, not to anyone, and definitely not in that chat. I tried shrugging it off, saying something vague, but that was only the beginning. "Don't forget to lock your windows," their next message said. "Your ground floor room must be easy to break into." Fingers trembling, I typed back, "How do you know that?" Their response sent chills through my entire body. "We're friends, aren't we? I like to keep an eye on you. You're fascinating to watch." I didn't reply. I couldn't. The chat stayed open on my screen, but I had no idea what to do. I locked every door and window like I suggested, but felt exposed, like my entire life was on display for someone who shouldn't know me. The final message was worse, far worse. "Don't worry about responding now. My full name. I've been watching you a long time. You looked lovely the first time I saw you, through your webcam." I never went back to that chat room. I uninstalled everything, even threw my webcam away. But the feeling of being watched never left me. Even now, I cover my cameras, double-check the locks, and avoid staring out my window for too long. Some nights, though, I still feel the weight of their gaze on me. Every story holds an unsettling pattern: isolation, curiosity, and the lurking consequences of crossing a line you can't uncross. The dark web isn't just a place. It's a predator, cloaked in anonymity, waiting to pull in the brave or the foolish. Think twice before venturing outside the comforts of the internet, because once you're watched, once you're targeted, there are no guarantees you'll ever escape. So, which story haunted you the most? Let us know in the comments below if you can still trust your screen. Remember, what's hidden should often stay hidden.